We have trained about 300,000 people in about 200 centers, out of which 215,000 people were under the Ministry of Textiles scheme called Integrated Skill Development Scheme, which we train now people from 300 hours training programs to 3,000 hours, and give even a bachelor degree called BVOC, Bachelor of Vocational Education. And there is also an Institute of Apparel Management, which is a sister organization, which also is headed by me since then. So there we train people at a senior level, managers and supervisors, and international programs. So fashion being a perishable phenomenon, you need to really look at people with a very different mindset, because change is the new normal there always, and Zara kind of brands which rewrote the entire fashion life cycles to become more and more compressed is even challenged the earlier time people used to take to change a fashion. And that is where it all starts. So obviously you are talking about an industry which is entirely based on change and time. And that requires a very different kind of people. So you require to look at this industry in a very dynamic fashion. And you already the technologies are changing rapidly, and fashion time span has shrunk. And therefore you are looking at a group of people who need continuous training. Recently, one of the companies we can't name because they are one of the world's topmost company, they wanted us to make an executive development program for just training the people of their office in Gurgaon for fabrics, because fabrics constitute 60 to 70% of the cost of a garment. And most of the people land up with the degrees, but they don't know the fabrics. How to look at the count of a fabric, how to look at the texture of a fabric, how to look at the fiber content or whatever, or processing, what processing it must have undergone, or etc. etc. So we conducted a program, and we found that people were so afraid to tell their bosses that I don't understand this fabric. You're asking me to work on it, but I don't know about it. But we conducted this program. So lifelong learning is a phenomenon anyway, being studied by everyone. But in apparel industry, it is about, it is really true about, this industry where lifelong learning is a must. Industries which are subject to rapid technological and environmental and mindset changes, the eyeball changes, the mind space changes, they too, the people need continuous exposure to new aspects of every day. The other day we had the GTE, the Garment Technology Expo, where one of the presenters was showing how today the robotics have come into garment manufacturing, and how those are changing, the way the lasers and the holding, everything is changing. So you cannot but overemphasize the need for continuous training, and the training can be done physical classrooms, it can be done virtually, it can be done synchronous learning systems, all kinds of possibilities are there with technology. Haptic devices giving you touch and feel. Today you can do many things, but you require training, no doubt about it. For India, for nearly 450 million to 500 million are youth, and the median age is just 29. So when you look at India has a chance to influence global fashions. So it is about what kind of a demographic advantage is there in the globalization scenario, because we are unable to really borrow most of the ideas anymore, because the ideas have to be customized for India. Even a Zara or a Mango or an H&M, today when they look at Indian market, they look at the Indian youth and create their fashion. So I think it has become extremely critical for the new generation of people and the working executives to take it as a challenge that my career is going to be 5 or 6 times changing the jobs, and each job is going to bring about different technological and different situational challenges, and to face those challenges I need to convert my skills to competencies, and that skills plus knowledge with competencies create the outcomes to be better. You must have had some skills, but that is not enough, because the skills applied in a context of a certain job becomes a competency. And the competency, when it is really developed into insights and experience, it also becomes a knowledge which you can probably impart to your juniors, and that goes on. And this process, if you are able to make sure that you are going to keep it alive throughout your career, then you will never face pink slips. You will never face problems of stagnation. You will always be picked up because you will always remain valuable.